What needs to be in place for a couple before they decide to enter into this marriage that's going to be a blended family?
Well, I think one of the things they need to do is they need to learn as much about blended family living as they possibly can. And that's getting smart in my book, all right? Too many people work hard at being a family, but they need to work smarter about being a family, not necessarily harder. And I can explain that when we talk about crock potting your family. But learning as much as you can is helpful because, again, it helps you to work in better directions and not take missteps on accident. I think couples really need to slow down when they're dating. I've got some friends that say, you know, generally speaking, children are a year behind the couple. So if you're ready to get married, your kids are lagging in terms of the timing and the pacing of being open to the new family relationships. Adults need to really slow down.
I really like what you said about the couples or letting the children have time to catch up. Because one of the things when I work with blended families in counseling, a lot of times the couples say, you know, our kids really got along well before the marriage, but then once after we got married, things began to change.
And there's a reason for that, because it's not real until it's real. Kim, that's one of the things that dating couples really need to get right now, okay, is until you're married, it's not real. Until the wedding, it's not real. Think about it from a psychological standpoint, relational standpoint. When couples are dating, they often date kind of separate and apart from parenting tasks and matters. It's kind of like mom leaves kids with a babysitter, she goes out, spends time with this guy, and she's falling in love with him, and their coupleness is developing, all right? And at some point, they get intentional about trying to develop relationships with the children, and at that point, it's kind of like everybody's on pretend, you know, everybody's on their best behavior, and the kids really like this guy, and he's nice, and he took him out for ice cream, and you know, he makes mom smile, and those are all very positive things as far as they're concerned. But the day they get married and move in the house together, and he starts telling them to pick up their socks, you know, that's a different story. You know, now we've moved into an arena that's very different. Now we're dealing with authority and relationship and respect, and it's not pretend anymore, it's real. And oh, by the way, it was kind of okay when you took my mom out on a date and spent time with her. I'll sit in her lap like I've done every night for the last 5 years, and you're sitting next to her watching TV, and there's no room for me, and I'm feeling displaced. And as a child who's already gone through a tremendous amount of loss, and that's always the thread, the undercurrent of the step-family story, is that children have experienced a tremendous amount of loss. Now they have another loss added on top of that. And most of us, even as adults, don't respond well to multiple losses. Kids don't either. And that response often shows itself as resistance. So I don't like you being in the house. I'm not sure I want you around taking time and energy from my mother rather than she having that time and energy for me. All of those adjustments are losses for kids. And that can create opposition in their heart.